guys.
Hello. We moved it back an hour just this week. Normally we'll be at 8. And Trey
Jennifer
from our Louisiana life was wanted to do his giveaway at 8. So rather than complicate things, I didn't bother reminding him. He was kind of asking people what time everybody was going live. But I didn't want to complicate it. He already kind of had a time set out. So, but anyways, how was everybody's weekend? Well, Jennifer's weekend.
All 0 people on here. There's 3. You can re-ask.
Now that there's 3 people in here, how was y'all's weekend?
Well, that's probably me, you, and Mom. Hey, Jan.
Where's Jan?
We know how Mom's weekend went.
But
Hey, Juno.
we got yesterday. We finally got one of our oak trees planted that we bought at Tractor Supply, and we're going to be doing a video on that real soon. We just last minute went out and bought some more panels this evening to plant the other one. It's kind of expensive to plant a tree when you got to buy panels because you got goats and llamas and stuff that want to eat them. But those panels will be good for a long time, so we'll be able to, in a year or so, when those trees are tall enough and established, we can.
You're out burning, so you can't stick around long. That's all right. Well, we appreciate you jumping on. This is going to be a short live tonight anyway, because we're going over to our Louisiana Life's giveaway tonight at 8.
At 8 o'clock. So if you didn't know, our Louisiana Life was going to be doing a giveaway 1,000 subscribers as soon as you're done here, or if you're available at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Go over to our Louisiana Live.
Hey, Grounds Family Farm.
And that channel's growing pretty quick, actually.
Who?
Trey's, our Louisiana Live.
Yeah. Yep. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
It's hard. Was hard. We're doing better now.
He's just a character.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Anyhow. Oh, what was we going to talk about? I meant to.
I didn't have enough time for that. I was going to I wanted to bring up the expo.
Oh, go ahead.
Because that's short. I figure we'll do that one next week. But anyway, guys, so I went to the Oklahoma Homesteading Rendezvous on Friday to help out. And it was a blast. It was down there in McAllister, and it was put on by Hippie Cow Yay Homestead. And Chris over there, she is awesome. She did a fantastic job. Amy with Leonard Mountain came out there, and it was pretty much just the Leonard crew, me and the boys, and then Chris and her husband Dodge running the whole thing. So it was. Wasn't
there possibly some people that had volunteered to help with that didn't
backed out? Yeah, I don't have any names. I don't know who they were, but.
Yeah, the goal isn't with me saying this. The goal isn't to directly call people out, but we've ran
shed hunting events.
We've ran shed hunting events with pretty good attendance, and you always got people that say they're gonna help, but back out, and that makes things extremely difficult. Now, this is bigger than anything we've ever ran. So,
hey, Duncan Family Farm.
Just remember that, people. Whenever you say, I'm going to help volunteer and I'm going to help run something, remember how important that is to those people that you've made that commitment to. So don't say you're going to do something unless you're going to do it. I understand there's certain, things that come up that, supersede it. But it seems like it's always, in our case, when we ran something, there's always convenient reasons not to help.
Yeah, but that's it. I was like, I think Jack had emailed me about 2 weeks before this and asked if we could help out, and about a week before the event, I emailed her and told her me and Voice would come down. And then Amy and her crew weren't even supposed to be volunteering that morning, so she would have not had anybody there in the morning. So she is doing this again next year. It's going to be September 26th and 27th. She's already scheduled it, which I'm super thankful and excited for, because I was almost worried that she wasn't going to do it again, because there were some points where it got pretty stressful and overwhelming with some of the vendors and attendees, but it all got fixed and everything, turned out really great. Overall, the event was fantastic.
Man, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To do stuff like that. So when somebody does it, you got to kind of be thankful. I couldn't, we would, there's no way we could be the head of something like that and not have a ton of help.
Yeah, she did a great job. But I know Amy and myself was going to help her with next year's. She's starting to put a little committee together that will help out with all that, and we plan to help next year. Awesome. Duncan Family Farm. Did you guys have a booth out there, or did you just attend? Duncan. Oh, that's Duncan Family Farm. You were at Dyer's booth, weren't you? Your phone's echoing. It was a great event, though. I mean,
yeah,
pretty cool overall. A lot of great vendors there. I didn't even.
Yeah, Shayla was supposed to go down there and learn a little bit about trapping wild honeybees.
I got some friends that teach me to do that, and your uncle.
But that's actually something we kind of.
Did they have?
Well, what did you find out today about that grant you found there?
Boy, yeah. The people that came over and helped me with bees, so we went to their house today, and they showed us how to extract honey, and then how they set their hives up, and all the equipment they have, and all that cool stuff. And yesterday, he sent me a link on a grant, which I'll be posting on our Facebook page, and if I can, I'll try to post in our community tab here on YouTube about the grant. And I don't know all the details. I have no idea if this is local or if it's United States. I haven't read the details, but I do know it's for kids. But they're going to give you bees and equipment and all this cool stuff, just trying to get kids into learning about bees. So
hopefully we come up with 3 more hives.
PSV Odyssey. Hey, how are you?
Nice.
Keith and Ryan, hello.
We'll Harvest Honey next year.
I know. Yeah, that would be nice. Hey, Josh. We're doing good.
Then,
that was pretty cool. Yeah, but keep a lookout for that information, because I will post it. I just haven't got to read into it yet.
But yeah, that's what
I was Mitchell.
So we kind of want to next year. We kind of want to try to trap some bees.
Yeah, it's too late right now.
We're going to study up on that, and in the spring we have a ton of public land just right here by the house. So I think we're going to try to set some bee traps and see if we can't get a swarm or 2.
Yeah. Free bees is the way to go.
Yeah, if we could catch them. And I mean, how much did the last hive cost?
$175, and that was fairly cheap. And
I thought it was $140.
No.
And then that one died on us.
I've bought 2 over the years, and 1 I lost. Yeah. And I don't even know how this one survived, because I have been very neglectful. I was kind of like, well, the bees in the wild survive, so these ones are going to be fine. I didn't really read up a lot. Oh my goodness. After everything they've learned, I don't know how they've made it so far. But they are so much fun. Jennifer said, I have tons of bees around my house, different kinds. I have so many wildflowers and flowers I grow, and they're all over my sunflowers and vegetable plants all day, every day. Tons of bees.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Josh, with like the oranges, that's $245 for a hive. I couldn't even do it if it were, that expensive, and then I wasn't able to keep them.
Well, the people that I visited today, they're my mentors now, but they were saying the money's not really in the honey, it's in the nukes. So if you were able to split hives or catch bees, and they were explaining, hey, Beth, they were explaining how they do. It's called a cutout, and they were telling me all these places they've been. Like there was an RV they had crawled up into the water line and made a huge hive in there. So they had collected that one. That one's actually in their backyard right now. That's the one we went through today. It's doing really good. And they went to an old abandoned house that a guy was about to redo, and he handed him a jackhammer and he said, "Have at it." And so they tore the wall completely apart, and he said there was a hive that's 6-7 foot tall. Had been there for a long time. So it's just cool hearing all these different stories. And they have one they got out of a flower pot, and they named it Flower Pot, but they tried to hand the pot back to the lady, and she freaked out and told them to take it. So, it's pretty neat. I'd love to be able to do that, but I think we're a little ways out from that.
It'd take quite a bit of time because so many people, be calling you and you'd have to respond and, you'd have to have some time aside to do that. That's kind of like a full-time beekeepers kind of thing is going out and responding to people that need them removed.
Well, they do it for free because they get the bees. It's kind of their trade-off, but they stay at home all the time. I don't know if they're retired or if they work. Well, she works from home.
One time so I was checking Catskills, and there was, the honeybee people weigh on the Catskills, and when they stop, sometimes the bees will swarm. And one time there was a swarm in a Catskill sign, and the maintenance guy come out there and seen the bees swarming, and he said, "Oh, I better get some wasp spray." And I was like, "No, don't spray them. Just call somebody. They'll come get them for free." I don't know. I bet you he sprayed them, but a swarm of honeybees. They were all over the bottom of the sign. The queen was probably right there.
Oh.
I mean, all you'd have to do is scoop them up.
Hendrickson, you said you pretty much have to have a vacuum. That's about what I use when I go out and get bees out of people's walls. Yeah, so I didn't even know you had bees, but they have a really cool vacuum. They make everything themselves because everything's so expensive for bees. And so he showed me his whole vacuum system and how he sewed in a screen into a 5-gallon bucket. And then you just buy a hose and hook it up to your vacuum, and super
I find
easy.
it interesting that the vacuums don't hurt the bees.
Well,
there were a bunch of dead ones on a video I watched.
Well, he told me that you have to get a solid, the inside of your vacuum line needs to be solid, so not the rigid ones, because when you suck them up in the rigid ones, they bang back and forth, and that'll hurt them or kill them. And then he puts a layer of carpet at the bottom of his bucket, so when they hit the bucket, they're landing on something soft and not killing them. So that was pretty cool. Hey, Trey. There is Trey with Our Louisiana Life, and he's going to be doing the giveaway at 8, and the link is in our description. So make sure you guys switch over at 8 o'clock for that. I just saw another comment and I forgot.
Trey just got himself a bucket calf, or I think it was probably a bottle calf, however you want to call it, bucket calf, bottle calf, and he said it might be a little too friendly. And I can definitely relate to that because I can't do anything with the bottle calves that we've got around here. You can't do anything. You bend over to do something, next thing you know, you got a cow's head leaning on your back. And you won't even see them.
I know.
They won't be in sight, but you can't turn your back on them for 2 seconds and they're right behind you.
Yeah. What's crazy
is, if they're not doing that, they're eating the seat off of your backhoe.
What's crazy is we didn't even bottle. I mean, I guess we did bottle feed that other one. The boys did, but they've been down at the neighbor's house with zero attention. And the few times we've been over there, they know who we are, and then here they act like puppies.
I'll tell you what bottle calves worry me the most about, though, is I'm not afraid that they're going to hurt me or anything like that, which is possible because they're like big puppy dogs. But what worries me the most is, like, if you're on your tractor and you're going forward, backing up, going forward, moving hay, pushing brush, mowing, whatever the case is, they like to get right up there around you. So I'm always worried I'm going to run one of them over because they don't. they don't have the same common sense as one raised by its mama.
And they'll learn.
Kind of like with humans. Hey, if a human is babied his whole life and has trouble understanding exactly who or what he is, he's kind of a dummy.
Oh, we'll see you, Mitchell. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. The other cows are bullying the crap out of her.
Yeah, that's how it goes. They, I don't know what's a good
Panda.
example, but like they know, like they're not.
Oh, wow.
They know they're like a pampered cow or something. Like you ain't us. You ain't like us. You don't struggle like us. So they do pick on them, but eventually they'll get used to it.
Our goats, some of our
Yeah,
goats have been really bad.
Goats
about
do that. Like if you buy a bottle raised goat or something and you turn it out with goats that weren't bottle raised, oh yeah, they go through. It's like basic training. It's hell week for like the first week they're out there. They just every goat out there is beating them down.
Yeah, these are toughen up.
It'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boot camp for bottle calves.
Bottle calf boot camp.
But,
yep.
Yeah. But she's a good looking calf. Man, I think Beefmaster. Didn't you say she was? I think he said she was Beefmaster Angus, and I think Beefmaster some of the better looking cattle if you're into real big framed cattle. But anyway, so one thing we're going to be focusing on with our channel here moving forward, if you watched our last video, is going to be our rabbits. We've got quite a bit of knowledge on rabbits, and I want to kind of go against the grain with, like, if you were to Google how to take care of a rabbit, you're going to get all these fur baby answers, and they're going to say you got to do it this way or that way, and we're going to kind of go against the grain to that because we know plenty about rabbits, and we want to do it in a manner that's self-sufficient. So one reason I think rabbits is like a really, really good beginner or even a permanent and experienced homesteader animal is because, unlike chickens, you don't need an incubator to reproduce them. You don't need like any kind of intervention. As long as your rabbits are healthy and you're feeding them, they should reproduce on their own.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that's why they're an excellent source of protein.
Well, and then your harvest time with a rabbit is pretty close, but I think your rabbit beats the
pound
chicken.
for pound of feed. It beats even the Cornish chickens, which is hard to do.
And skinning, that is a huge thing.
You don't have to have any kind of mechanical plucker or sit there, bent over plucking your chickens for hours. I mean, you don't have to pluck a chicken. I guess you could totally breast one out and skin it real fast too. I could skin a chicken about as fast as a rabbit if I didn't want the skin. But problem is with chickens, I want the skin. Especially if you were trying to survive, you would want the skin from a chicken because you need the fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh has rabbits up there in Alaska.
But they love that. A lot of people freak out because of
the
weather.
Around here, it's funny, which we'll cover this in the winter when it's cold. But around here, people freak out, and you'll see them tarping their rabbits up because it's going to get down to 12 degrees at night or something like that. But I'll tell you this, when we had that polar vortex, that was the coldest we've ever had rabbits. And it was -20, and the rabbits were out on the wire. They had boxes, and they're out on the wire. Now, if the wind were blowing, they'll probably go get in the box at at those temperatures. But if it's still outside and there's no wind, they just hang out in it. And so if you have 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds and it's also 20 degrees outside, okay, give them a wind break if they don't already have one. But just your average, Midwest to southern, Oklahoma, Arkansas, kind of down the central United States, our winters are not bad enough to warrant, freaking out.
Bringing them all in the house.
Yeah, don't bring your rabbits in the house. They'd probably die. If they were used to it getting pretty cold and you brought them in the house, they might die from it being too warm.
Yeah. Is that where the saying reproduce like rabbits come from? Yeah, they can have kits within 28 to 32 days, and then they're ready to go and butcher in 3 to 4 months.
It depends on how big you want to take them too.
Yeah. And
I mean, if you
on the breed.
If you want like if you're raising New Zealand's or something, you can butcher them anywhere between a 5-pound and a 10 or 11-pound rabbit. 5-6 pound rabbit's not going to take you, but maybe 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're just very, very good animals to have around. I mean, you can feed them off of total, forage. They don't eat that much. You could literally get you a scythe and find you a good crabgrass and clover patch and cut down hay by hand, sit it on top of the rabbit cage, let the sun dry the hay, stuff it in feed sacks, barrels, whatever you got to do. Make a barrel, make a baler. You can make a
mini hand baler.
A hand baler. It's pretty simple. You can make a hand baler and make your own little bells and store them. One thing we're going to do this year, and we're going to do a video on this if we have time. We're always pressed for time, but what we want to do is get some barrels and do haylage or silage, and kind of our version on that. We're thinking like a push mower with a bagger, and then just stuff it in barrels and then seal it with some kind of an airlock that if they're gassing off a little bit, it can go out, but oxygen can't get back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the winter we'll just keep like a piece of plywood on top of it so that oxygen doesn't get to it as we just scoop out and feed.
Rabbits are high in cholesterol.
Right? Who said that? Josh? Or
Clint? Or Sam? Right here on the screen.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's different kinds of cholesterol, but cholesterol is really not that bad for you. What's the one that's bad for you?
There's HDL and LDL. I don't remember.
LDL.
Probably LDL.
I think LDL is the one that's bad for you, but I wouldn't think they'd be very high. I mean, maybe if you're eating their organs, like their liver and stuff, I would think that'd be where you'd find most of your fats in a rabbit, because they're so lean that you can actually starve to death eating nothing but rabbit because they're so lean on fat. And then so like if you're truly trying to survive off of them, you're going to have to eat the liver, the kidneys, the heart to try to get that extra fat. But you're also going to have another fat source like lard or tallow or something like that. Fat is extremely important for survival, like in a crap hits the fan scenario and, food's just not readily available. Fat is going to be your number one sought after nutrition.
So you're saying grow some nut trees and rabbits.
Yeah, if you get, acorns and pecans, walnuts and stuff like that. Like if you found a black walnut tree, that thing would be worth its weight in gold, because however, there's not much meat in a black walnut. They're so rich in fats. That would be the gold mine for survival, is getting a good pecan walnut harvest.
Yeah. Jan said one of her does was pregnant and they had no idea, had 9 kids and they froze. One of the rabbits was not correctly sexed and she became pregnant. Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of people don't know. And most rabbits are all called, what does everybody call a rabbit? Rex rabbits. Everybody says this is a Rex rabbit. It's not. Guarantee it's not Rex. Rex have a very distinct fur, and a lot of people don't know how to say
anything that's got a strange looking fur to it, people think it's a Rex.
Yeah.
But a Rex will literally be like velvet, and the fur only gets about 1/4 of an inch long.
Yeah.
Real short, tight.
It feels like almost like
real
velvet.
short, tight coat.
Yeah, but
Lots of times
people,
they're Rex crosses. So they'll have like a little bit of the Rex gene, and it's just not, a full Rex. But
a lot of people, they'll flip them over, and if they
Kevin-
don't see the manhood there, then they assume it's a female. But go down in order.
so we got hello Kevin.
Henderson.
I'm not sure.
Are you talking about domestic rabbit or wild rabbit?
So there is a big difference. Like
Yeah.
domestic rabbit is tender and sweet. I would describe it as a sweet flavor and very tender. And wild rabbit, it's not that to me it doesn't taste bad. It's that it's so chewy.
It's dark. It's a dark
Honestly,
meat too, which I don't really.
What's crazy to
I don't
me is
care.
it's chewier than squirrel. Like when I eat squirrel,
I don't really have rabbit in a long time. Wild rabbit.
we used to eat it quite a bit.
It's been a while. We haven't really rabbit hunted much, but it's dark, and I'm not a huge fan of dark meat. But the domestic rabbits are very white.
Yeah, so I think Jennifer is closer to the truth than not right there. I think both cholesterols are good for you. I don't think it'd be a thing if it wasn't really good for you, honestly. I mean, we're omnivores, but we're primarily carnivores. And I don't think that God would have created LDL and
HDL, LDL.
whatever the two cholesterols are if they weren't both important for us. Now, I think that there could be a grain of truth to it being bad. Like, for example, if you like sugars and sweets, and you eat a lot of sugars and sweets, and you also eat that bad cholesterol, that cholesterol is probably going to be very bad for you because your body's digestive system is not digesting. It's not digesting the fats and the cholesterols the way it would be if you were eating more fats than sugars. So that gets into the whole carnivore diet thing, and just if you want to know about digestion and fats, you got to go find somebody more knowledgeable than me. There's a lot of good doctors out there on carnivore topic, and
We'll have to
they'll tell you all
watch
about
that video, Josh. He said he had some fat rabbits.
Hey, Josh, I'm kind of curious about that. Did you feed them any kind of grain?
Jan got us covered. Said they did not contribute to high cholesterol or heart disease. I just looked it up. Domestic rabbit. Jan and I had them. I am simply Jan's husband, and I didn't like the taste of it. Oh, you're supposed to remember his name.
Oh, well, I
The
can't.
fishing guy.
I knew his name was Kevin, but I didn't know his last name. I'm terrible. I got 2 phone numbers, okay? And I can't remember either one of them.
So I wonder if it's based on the breed, like, because we actually, surprisingly, we've had probably over 1,000 rabbits combined between our childhoods and since we've been married, and we actually never butchered any ourselves. But what was she from?
Cambodia? Was she
No,
Cambodian?
you messed me up. I was about to say it.
Laos.
No. She wasn't Filipino, but she was. Dang it. Now it's going to irritate me.
Hey, guys, hit the like button if you haven't already.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I don't know. Anyway, she was from another country. She was amazing. I loved her to pieces. And they had 60 rabbits in their
Honestly,
backyard.
I'd like to go back and
Siti.
talk to them.
I loved her so much. Bill and Siti. But they raised American blue rabbits. Maybe we should go buy some from them.
American Blue were basically a blue New Zealand.
Zealand. I don't know, but anyway, that breed is what we ate, and it was so good. Man, it was good. I don't know if it had to do with the breed, maybe, because I know there's differences in cattle. Like there's Longhorn and Angus and Jersey, and people swear by Angus. Some people love the Longhorn, and so maybe there's a breed difference in taste. But I do know American Blue is good. Let's see here. It's like everything else. Too much of something may not be good in general, but we need cholesterol. Yes. Oh, Templin Acres. Hello. How are you guys?
Yeah, I remember when they said egg cholesterol was bad for you, and my grandpa was always eating egg whites because he thought the cholesterol was bad, and then come to find out that, oh no, the cholesterol is actually really good for you from eggs.
I'm not going to say how many rabbits we currently have on the property. We have New Zealand and meat mutts, lionheads, mini rags, harlequin, English up. That sounds like us about 8, 9 years ago.
And right now we just have a
probably
bunch of mixed rabbits, but
Yeah.
we
probably had 45 or 55. I think our peak with all the babies was 60 at our old place, but I know people that have way more than that. I've been in some. Well, we both.
I can't believe we weren't just eating them.
I know. I don't know why. I guess we were just selling them too fast, and we never. I don't know. Just never did it.
And we used to breed registered, pedigreed
mini
Rex, and we sold those things as fast as we could breed them back.
Mm-hmm.
But that was in Texas, and the pedigreed rabbits fell off when we got to Oklahoma, and nobody really wanted them.
No, she wasn't Thai, Kevin. Oh man, that's gonna irritate me. Indonesian. Indonesia. Yeah, that's what she was. I'd have to send you a link. I don't have those videos up for my old channel, but in the winter I feed hay that I put up in the morning and pellets at the evening because of the winter. I think they're like chicken. Yeah,
I'm kind of tempted to buy a pellet maker from like China or something cheap to make pellets. But I kind of want to experience with the goats. I want to. I don't want a really tiny pellet maker because I want to make like enough feed for goats or pigs or something, or cattle even maybe. But I kind of want to experiment with raking up like tree leaves when they're falling in the fall and using them as a dry matter. They're probably full of mineral if you can get something to eat them. But I think they get kind of bitter because even the goats won't eat. They'll eat around through them, but they won't eat a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to experiment with raking up those leaves and then pelletizing them with like just hay and maybe a little bit of grain and alfalfa.
Yeah. Josh said he had silver fox. Did Levi get silver martin or silver fox from Brian?
Silver fox.
I thought it was silver martin. Silver martin.
Maybe it's. I mean, we got a video somewhere on it. I think.
Yeah.
We can go back and watch. That's been 3 years. So we had some really good. Oh, man, we had some good rabbits, and them, our daggone hunting dog got in there and killed them. And we just, our kids have had them as basically pets since then, off and on, but we haven't, took it serious. But we're fixing to. We want to go. We want to be self-sufficient as far as meat goes. We'll still buy stuff out of convenience, unfortunately, or we'll still eat out. We like to eat out once in a while, but we want to be able to say if we needed to, we've got enough meat to feed ourselves.
Yeah. I can't stop yawning. I slept plenty last night. Highlands are the best. They're just rubbing it in, okay? I'm getting one next year. I'm gonna get.
Hey, 4 years ago, I could have bought Highland cattle cheaper than, before 2020, you could have bought Highland cattle cheaper than commercial beef cattle.
I wanted one so bad because we used to have a little herd of them right by our old house, but we didn't. We only had 2 acres, and we weren't allowed to have farm animals, even though we did. Kevin said, "Do you guys remember the old food pyramid? They wanted us to eat tons of bread." Oh yeah.
You You need to eat bread. Conveniently, they were working on all these GMOs
Hey,
to mass
Chris.
produce bread crops. You know.
Chris is here. We were just talking about the Oklahoma Oklahoma homesteading rendezvous. I don't know why that can't come out of my mouth fluently, but that was wonderful. I talked to Amy. She said it went well on Saturday. So I hope that was the case. It didn't sound like you had a bunch of help though. So hopefully cleanup wasn't too bad. But we're all excited for next year. You guys make sure to follow the Facebook page. I don't have that linked in here, but if someone could maybe find that and link it here, that would be great. And go check out her channel. She did all this work on this event, made this huge big deal about it, and she didn't even advertise her own channel there. So you guys make sure to go like and subscribe. She is fully off-grid and so cool. I was just watching some videos today. So make sure you guys go check out Chris and Dodge on Life on the Homestead with Hippie Cow Yay, because they are some awesome people. I enjoyed fixing the jump off so I can make sure I have all my ducks in a row. Probably still gonna mess something up.
Well, if you're still
you'll
on,
do great.
if you're still on here, Trey, I want that bucket of twine.
Is he giving away a bucket of twine?
It's an inside joke.
Oh, it's how much meat you can get from raising rabbits
Yeah, they.
in a small area. Yep.
So here's something that I read on rabbits here just recently was that the only thing that can outperform rabbits in weight gain is fish. Actually, interestingly enough, so probably I'm thinking that's probably tilapia.
Tilapia. Yeah.
So, which actually, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of hydroponic and raising fish if I ever had the time to dabble with it. I wouldn't, I've kind of thought about raising like fodder. And when I say fodder, what I mean is like sprouted grain. So like oats, barley, corn, wheat, you just sprout it. And then when it's, still in its shoot phase, when it's just, when all the energy from the corn or whatever it is that you sprout is still in the leaf, then you feed it so that you're actually feeding the cattle grass instead of grain, or sheep or goats or rabbits or whatever, chickens. I wonder, well, I mean, you don't really need hydroponic for that because all the nutrients is in the grain kernel. So, but hydroponics, it interests me, maybe some.
Actually, I should go back up to that
tomatoes
line.
and
I'm gonna
stuff
go
like
back
that.
up there and go. I'll bring you though, and we'll do a good video on it.
Oh,
Yeah, let's do that.
elderberry farm.
I'm gonna message them and we'll do that. We'll do
What
a
kind
big
of fish
video
did
on
he
it.
have in there? Koi or? See, I would want to do something that I might eat like tilapia
Why wouldn't you eat koi?
because it's just a carp. I've seen a lot of. Okay, I've seen a lot of.
Carp has been my favorite fish so far.
Not common carp.
Well, koi's not a common carp.
Yeah, it's basically
It
common
might be
carp.
good.
But I've seen like, I don't know, maybe common carp would taste good, but I've seen them on the bank rotting, and I see the grease puddle that a common carp leaves, and it just grosses me out. I don't know.
It does look really greasy. It just looks like
Their bones are
pure
greasy.
fat almost.
After they die, their bones are just greasy.
Yeah. But I mean,
But that's probably
Never
extremely good for you. Omega fatty fish oils or whatever. Omega.
cool. Thanks. Yep. You don't get on there much. Well, really at all.
Yeah.
But we try to keep it going. Trying to get a little income on all the platforms.
Yeah. Ultimately, what I'd like to be able to do is produce, meat and stuff for the local community. Obviously, I don't think I could ever do it as cheap as a store, but I'd like to be able to compete with the store on prices. And a big part of that, what would help with that, is if we had the social media following to do it. Because in order to do that, I need more acreage, I need more facilities, more equipment, more man, more man hours, and to get more man hours, I need to be able to. I'm not ever going to hire anybody. What I need to do is be able to go full time, and if and just be able to move my hot wire and stuff. I need the time to do it, and if I'm working a full time job, it makes it very hard. And Shayla's got to raise the boys and teach them and stuff. So,
Kevin, have you had silver carp? We have not tried common carp, grass carp, nothing like that.
I've never eaten a common carp or a grass carp, but hey, them flying carp, Asian big head carp, silver carp. You get one of them about 18 inches or smaller, which are kind of hard to get small because they grow so fast. But you fillet one of them out, and they're so good. They're actually a really white, flaky fish.
The only thing is the bones. And the same with buffalo.
But if you get them small enough, you don't even know the bones are there. They're so fine.
Well, and then the buffalo is kind of the same way. Buffalo is so good, but those bones, man, they're a pain.
Yeah.
You like fish.
Buffalo's good. Buffalo's actually, I would say it's one of my favorite fishes if it didn't have the bones.
Yeah, all the boys loved it.
Which we actually did do a catch, clean, and cook on the buffalo. So if you're interested in buffalo look like a carp, but they're actually not related to a carp at all. Buffalo are a native fish, and carp are from Asia. So completely different species of fish, which is really weird because they look so similar. A lot of people don't even know the difference.
Yeah. Except that one guy that pulled up those. Did he have four? Those. Were they 90 pounds or did he catch 90 pounds?
90. There ain't no such thing as a 90-pound buffalo.
How big were they?
Oh, they were 30-pound fish.
They were bigger than
They were 30, 40-pound fish. He was trying to catch a 50 or 60-pounder to set the record.
Oh, that's where I got 50 or 60. Those suckers were huge, though.
Yeah, whenever I was stationed at Fort Hood, there was a guy that we were trying to crappie fish at an indoor dock, and he had a stringer with like 3 of these huge buffalo, big old black buffalo, and they were probably, to me, they were absolutely huge, 35, 40 pounds, but they weren't big enough to break the Texas state record. And
he was just going to collect them all and hang them on a strainer until he got them all out of the way.
I think he was going to take them home and pin them up in his pond and feed them until they were state record.
Probably.
But this guy was chumming the water for I think he said a week before he go fishing. So I was like, how do you have that? I could see you just get lucky and catch one big fish like that, but how do you catch 3 or 4 of them? And he's like, oh, I chum the water, so.
Yeah, that was crazy. Hey, John.
John goes outdoors. He's got a little short up of a really nice buck that he's got on trail camera.
Yep, Dakota was just showing me that buck.
Yeah, I normally wouldn't hunt this time of year for deer, but if I had that guy on camera and I thought I could catch him in the daylight, I'd be hunting for him. Are you
going bow hunting tomorrow? The morning wouldn't be too bad. It's pretty cool.
Man, you shoot a deer,
yep.
You get a deer, you better be
ready to skin it.
You better be getting the guts out of it. And if I thought that I was going to shoot, if I thought I had a good chance of shooting a deer, I'm taking ice with me.
Yeah.
Unless a gas station's real close.
You know what Mom just told me? She's seen a huge buck. She was said it was like this big and like this tall. I'm like, and she said crosses the road all the time. I'm like, well, it's probably not gonna very long.
One of them Missouri hillbillies will just shoot it
I'm
from the road.
gonna go up there and get me a Missouri hunting license. We're gonna take care of him.
Probably have a bunch of ground shrinkage. Probably walk up to little
Probably.
forkhorn.
Oh, she said nope. It will be easy up there. What about your grandson? Rylan needs to shoot his first deer. We'll give you the meat. We just want the rack.
Whatever. I like eating deer.
Oh, I know, but it's bribery.
Man, I'll tell you what, deer meat's hard to beat. Backstrap,
Oh.
1.5 inch thick, cook it medium rare right in the center.
She said she won't be there long, so we can go get a Missouri license to go up there. Remember getting deer off the road in the summer in Alabama? You want to skin them quick because of all the ticks. I had ticks in the back of the truck for weeks.
Yeah, Shayla hit a deer here during the summer with the car, and I thought about it, but I was like, man, it's just too hot. She was just ate up in ticks, and she kind of looked wormy. They get wormy, and so deer kind of get wormy in the summer. And then what they do, so nature's way of worming, worming the deer and even the wild pigs now, even though they're not native here. But just the different critters, rabbits, squirrels, all that is acorns and stuff like that. Their forage, they eat a lot of forage with tannins in them, and those tannins will worm them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a natural order to things, and I think that's the main reason why hunting seasons are one of two reasons that hunting seasons are in the fall and winter is because that's when the animals get wormed, and also you don't want to, in the late spring and summer, that's when they have babies and stuff. So
deer jerky is the best. We go through that way too fast. We need to shoot like 2 deer just for jerky.
So Josh and John's comments remind me though, whenever I was in high school, man, I'd pick up a fresh run over deer real quick in a hurry, and I would take it home and bone it out, and I would just get a razor sharp knife and slice that deer real thin, and I'd make jerky out of it. I'd take it to school the next day, or a couple days after, when I had it all jerkied out, and I had gallon bags. I didn't have school books, so what I had was gallon bags full of deer jerky, and I would be willing to deal, and I'd make up those little short bags. I'd make up like 6 or 7 sticks in there, about $5. People be buying it off of me.
You're not supposed to say that on YouTube.
Statute of limitations. But I was probably, $5 a bag. I was making good money off of the deer, and I didn't even have to shoot them because people just leave them in the road.
That should be illegal.
I think
you have to pick them up for dogs or something.
I think they make it too hard to keep a deer. In Oklahoma, you're actually supposed to tag it and all this stupid stuff. Why should I use a deer tag on something that's been hit by a car? Which we live by a highway, and I've been disappointed. We've only got back straps one time off this highway. When we moved in here,
there was a few, but we just haven't found them fresh.
Yeah, when I moved in here, I thought for sure every year I'd be getting extra back straps.
We'll see you, Jan. We'll see you over at Trey's. We got 10 more minutes. Yep.
I was actually kind of like in my mind when I was like, sweet, yeah, we're gonna buy that place. I was thinking we'll be able to get backstrap.
You have to draw out in Utah to hunt. So that's how Texas.
Who said that?
Your phone drives me nuts. Chris.
You don't. You can't just buy over the counter tags there. You actually have to draw
At all, or is that for public hunting? Because down in Texas, the public hunting was like that too. You had to draw out.
You just had to schedule.
What was that on Fort Hood, or just? I thought we had to draw out to go hunt. I thought that's why we
There
never
was
did
public, but you had to schedule times to go hunt and stuff. It was dumb.
Was that the crane yard you just saw?
Yeah, I think so.
Never know what's outside of our property. Everybody's honking and stopping and working. You'd be the man to know.
Yeah.
Amy, Life on the Homestead. She's got us covered on links.
Yeah, John.
I can't click on it.
We make jerky that way too. We actually cook a lot of deer burger and deer chili and deer tacos. But when I make my deer grind, what I do is to about every 40 to 50 pounds of deer meat that I'm grinding, I usually grind up about 10 to 15 pounds of brisket or chuck roast in it. And it just makes the texture a little bit better. I mean, you can add beef fat and pork fat to your deer grind, but the texture still just isn't quite right. So I really like adding just a little bit of beef, the actual meat.
Mm-hmm. Amy's dropping links here. She just dropped Hippie Callier's home link there. So that's the one you guys want to go check out. Let's get her over 1,000. She absolutely deserves it. She said you have to send in money and then they draw and the lucky one gets a license. That's crazy.
Kind of stupid, but I guess maybe they have a lot of desert, maybe resources, or I think that's a money thing, to be honest. I think that the guide hunting for elk and stuff like that there is so makes so much revenue that I think they protect the big ranches that way.
Was there even tags? I mean, what about out?
Oh, here's a funny story. Crazy. Here's a funny story about picking up deer on the road, though. So whenever I was stationed at Fort Hood, we had we could hunt on base, but that wasn't always the greatest. And like we said, public land was kind of hard to get access to. And I just really wanted some deer meat. Well, on my way to work one morning, this little car smokes a deer, and I turn around and I'm like, I'm going to get the back straps off this deer real quick. So I've got a fillet knife in the car because we fished all the time. So I had this razor sharp fillet knife, and man, I had the hide pulled down the back real quick, and I had one back strap out in my hand, and I'm working on the other one. I'm about to get the other back strap cut off, and a cop pulls up and he goes, "Drop the knife!" He has his hand like ready to draw his pistol on me.
Zombie.
I guess this was before bath salts, but maybe he thought I was on bath salts or something.
That was not before, because you had guys out there on that crowd.
Oh no, that was in the middle of bath salts.
That was in the middle of it.
That's why he must have thought I was on bath salts. He was ready to shoot me over some back straps, and then he calls my unit and tells them that I was cutting up a deer on the side of the road. So then my unit's like, "That's not becoming of a soldier." And I was like, "Oh, what? Taking care of himself? Whatever."
Harvesting meat, or just gonna let it rot? Oh, she said that's deer and elk for every hunt, a cow and bull, buck and doe. Wow, that's crazy. It's stupid, and you're right. Hey, Leonard Mountain, Simply Jams link. Yeah, no tags at all. Wow. People must be a lot more honest there. Or maybe I kind of think the tagging system makes people rebel a little bit. I think it's dumb.
One time, Shayla, 13 Fox, Ford Observer. So one time,
gotta make this quick.
One time, Shayla shot a deer. I was driving around. She was on public.
Landlocked public.
Yeah, basically they were upset that we were on landlocked public. Needless to say, I was watching the kids while she was deer hunting. I had all the kids in the car, and she shoots a deer right before dark. Well, there's actually a road that goes down in there about maybe close to half a mile in on this public, but there was a tree in the road, so you couldn't get down it. Well, all I had was a little handsaw, and she shot this deer, and it fell right on the road, like right next to the road. So I was like, well, I want to drive in there and get it since it's so close to the road. So I spent about 15 or 20 minutes cutting this tree, and it's dark by the time I get down there. So I get this tree cut out of the way, we get down there, we get the deer loaded up, and there's no reception. We didn't put, in Oklahoma, you're supposed to put a filled tag on your deer until it's tagged in.
No, until it's to its final destination.
Whatever.
I confirmed that with
It's
them.
stupid law. But you're supposed to have a filled tag on, and
which could just be duct tape around the antler.
we get to the gas
something.
station and we're trying to tag it in, and I think they thought I shot the deer.
His cousin called, got us all screwed up, so I couldn't use my phone to tag it in. We get
Anyway,
there.
she gets a ticket for not having a filled tag on the deer. But I think that they actually thought that I shot it.
Yeah, they did, because he was out pumping gas and I was in the car. I was literally on the app trying to tag it in, and they came over because he was being such a jerk to me until I explained the whole situation and how I shot the deer and everything about it. And then as soon as he realized that it was actually me that shot the deer, his whole demeanor just completely changed. And then he's like, well, instead of a ticket, I can give you $100 some kind of fee.
Field citation. Field citation. They shake you down for, if you pay with credit card right now, then it's only $100 instead of $300.
It's I forgot what they call it. Some
Field citation.
No,
it's a field citation. I had to
that's
pay
not
some
what he
for
called it.
Matthew's fishing license
Well,
and
they
his
changed the name.
hunting license.
They
Or
changed the name.
Twice I've had to pay my brother's field citations because he doesn't have a license.
But anyway, good times. Only me getting a ticket. So stupid. But you guys see I'm wearing Tony's shirt. He was kind enough to give us a couple. Everybody is, oops, my hair's annoying. Everybody's loving this shirt. So I think he needs to start selling them, because everybody's been asking me where to get it. So I was hoping you'd come on here, but let's run through these really quick. We got about 2 more minutes left. It's population control, Chris said. Yeah, just honest policy, but there's so many deer there. Yeah, I wish they would do that here.
See, in Oklahoma, they want you to shoot more deer, and our deer numbers are going down.
So you did your boot camp at AIT at Fort Sill?
No, I did a boot camp at Fort Benning, Georgia, actually, and AIT at Fort Sill.
Mm-hmm. Amy, thank you so much for posting all these links. I appreciate it. It's so hard for me to try to get all those in.
And Fort Benning, Georgia was so humid. And then that was the summer that I did AIT at Fort Sill. It was 114 degrees every day. And the ground had cracks in it 3 inches wide.
Jennifer's calling out Tony. I always carry a thing that I can write with my information when I get one.
Yeah, John. I usually carry a Sharpie and I'll wrap duct tape around it.
Yeah.
Half the time I'll put it on there and I'll grab it with my hand and it smears off and I go, okay, you know what? If they stop me and they still write me a ticket, then whatever. I'm not going to sit here and baby this field tag. It's a dumb rule that doesn't really save any kind of poaching.
It is, because it's an honest. No matter what you do,
I could just, so if I shot the
system.
deer and I wanted to tag it in on hers, then I would just put her field tag on it.
Yeah, it's literally the stupidest thing ever. And we thought you just checked them in and we were good to go, but that was not the case. We found out you have to have a physical tag on until they get to your house.
But so I've never had a hunting or fishing ticket, and I've been hunting and fishing for 30 years.
You're
so
funny. I did boot camp Fort Sill and ATI and Fort Bliss. A lot of the guys at Fort Sill were whatever that means, if I remember correctly.
Officer candidates or
are
whatever.
there.
I think that's what it was.
Yep. We got to hop on over to Trey's Live. Starts in 1 minute. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget to hop on over to Trey's Live. The link is in the description already below. So come on over there. It's Our Louisiana Life.
So he should be live right now.
Yep. We'll see
So
you guys.
we'll
Thank
see
you
y'all.
so much
Thank
for
you.
jumping on. Thanks, Amy.